Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing great and I hope that everyone is safe out there. Today's lesson is going to be about restrictive and non-restrictive clauses. Let me first introduce myself before we begin the lesson. So my name is Brahim Ubasin. I'm a high school teacher of English and I'm really happy to help second year baccalaureate students and other students to prepare well for their national exams, etc. So we're going to start this lesson with this sentence or this quote. It says, "This is the boy who won the competition which was organized in a high school where I studied when I was a second-year baccalaureate student." So in this sentence, we've got some words which are underlined. And the question is, what are those underlined words? All right, these words are what we call relative pronouns, and they are very important to understand the meaning of a sentence. So they all start a clause which we need to understand the meaning of the sentence. In this sentence, we're talking about a boy, but we don't know who, with which was organized in the high school. It gives us information about the competition. Which competition are we talking about here? And also the clause which starts with where I studied gives us information about which school I'm talking about here. There are a lot of schools out there, but we don't know which school, so I'm gonna say the school where I studied. And this clause here, which is the last one, it gives us a very important information about time. When is that? All right, these are what we call relative pronouns, and they all start a clause. Very good. So now I want you to look at these sentences here, from 1 to 6. In every one we've got two sentences. For example, in number 1, we've got the police arrested the man stole my car. We've got two sentences here, and also we've got a word that keeps repeating. So for example, the word that repeats here is that keeps repeating is the man. So here comes the job of relative pronouns to avoid repetition and to join these two sentences together. For example, when we're going to use the relative pronoun, we're going to say the police arrested the man who stole my car. The same thing for sentence number 2. I met a man yesterday. The man is Aisha's father. Again, we've got two sentences here, and we've got a word that keeps repeating, a man and the man. So here we're talking about, this is the subject of this sentence, and then we have a verb, but a man here is the object of this sentence. So when we're talking about a man as an object or a person as an object, we use a different relative pronoun. And the sentence here might look like this: the man whom I met yesterday is Aisha's father. The number 3, we have actually two sentences too. We have Ramadan is a holy month. In Ramadan, Muslims fast. So again, the word that keeps repeating is Ramadan. And Ramadan here is a period of time. Okay, and we refer here, we're going to use the relative pronoun which is used with time. So it is when, and the sentence is going to be like this: Ramadan is a holy month when Muslims fast. Okay, number 4, also the same. This is the school. In this school I studied. So here again we've got two sentences and two words that are repeated. School. So a school here is referred to as a place. So we're going to use the relative pronoun we use with place, and then the sentence will look actually like this one. This is the school where I studied. Number 5 also, the word that keeps repeating is the girl. And if you notice, we've got an apostrophe with an S here, which means it's a possession or thinks it's a belonging. It's something that the girl possesses. Right, so we're going to have this sentence here, and we're going to use the relative pronoun we use with possessions and its whose. This is the girl whose mother died last week. And lastly, we've got again another sentence, and in that sentence we've got the word the book, which is repeating, and the book here is a kind of an object or a thing, and we use here the relative pronoun which we use with things and objects. So the sentence might look like this: the book which is on the table is mine. All right, so from all these sentences here we've got something, and we know that we we use relative pronouns who, whom, which, when, where, and whose to join two sentences together and to avoid repetition. But we also get that these, when these two sentences are linked together, they are no longer called sentences. We call them clauses. We don't call them sentences, but we call them clauses. Very good. And the question now is, what is the difference between these two clauses? I mean, we're talking about restrictive and non-restrictive clauses, so we need to know the difference between restrictive clause and non-restrictive clause. Let's look at these two examples we've got here. So we've got two examples, and in number one we've got a sentence: my sister who lives in Rabat is a teacher, and my sister who lives in Rabat is a teacher, two in sentence number two. So in this sentence here, number one, the clause who lives in Rabat is very important. It tells you which one of my sisters I'm talking about, because I actually got three sisters and you don't know which one I'm talking about. But when I say who lives in Rabat, you know that I'm talking about Zahra, because it's the only one who goes there. It's not Rashida, it's not Fatima. In second sentence, we've got here my sister who lives in Rabat is a teacher, and here it's actually we put who, the clause who lives in Rabat, between two commas because it's not important. It doesn't give necessary information. It only gives you extra information. All right, so you know that I actually have got one sister whose name is Zahra and she lives in Rabat, so I put it between commas because it's not necessary to the meaning of the sentence. Very good. Now I want you to look at these two sentences again and see what is the difference, or what is the main differences between them. So we've got here number one: my brother who graduated from the university immigrated to Canada. The second one is the same sentence: my brother who graduated from the university immigrated to Canada. So in this one here, we've got that I have many brothers and I'm speaking about the one who graduated from university. And here I have only one brother. He graduated from the university and immigrated to Canada, and I'm sure that you know him because I have only one brother. So this one here is what we call restrictive clause, and it is dependent. And here it's what we call non-restrictive clause, and it is independent. So the restrictive clause is what is important to the meaning of the sentence, because it gives the reader necessary or very useful information to understand what the speaker is talking about, while independent or non-restrictive clause is not very important and doesn't give necessary information. It only gives extra information, and it is always put between commas, because here if you see number one there is no commas there, and in number two we've got two commas. Now we've got table. Read the following sentences and complete the table below. So we're gonna read this. We've got 7 sentences, and then we need to read them and complete the table. All right, so we're gonna have the main clause, relative pronoun, and reference or use. So in sentence number 1, what is the main clause? The main clause is the police arrested the man. And then we have relative clause. It's always it always starts with relative pronoun. So it is who killed his wife. Okay, what is the relative pronoun here? It's who. What is the use of it? Refers to what? Refers to a person or a people. Okay. Now we've got sentence number 2. The old man whom we met yesterday has just died. So what is the main clause here? Main clause is the old man has just died. Okay, and in the relative clause is whom we met yesterday. Very good. Relative pronoun is whom, and reference is we use it with a person or people as object. Number 3, we've got that's the cat which ate your cheese. All right. Then the main clause is that's the cat. Alright, and then we have the relative clause is which ate your cheese. Alright, and the relative pronoun is which. And then reference or use, we use it with objects or animals or things. Alright, number 4, the man whose wife is dead is living there. Alright, the man is living there is the relative or the mean clause, and the relative clause is whose wife is dead. A relative pronoun here we've got is whose. Reference or use, we use it when we talk about possession, right? Number 5, school is a place where students learn. So here, what is the main clause? The main clause is school is a place. Very good. And then we have relative clause is where students learn. What is the relative pronoun? Is where. When do we use where or what where refers to? It refers to place. Very good. Sentence number 6, we've got March 8 is a day when people honor mothers. Okay, what is the main clause here? The main clause is March 8th is a day. It is a day. And the relative clause we have is when people honor mothers. Alright, and then the relative pronoun we used here is when. So what is the reference or use of when? We use it when we talk about time. Very good. Let's go to number 7. Number 7, we have this is the book that is yours. This is the man that killed his wife. We've got that. So in sentence number 7, we've got, let's take number 1 as an example. This is the book that is yours. So the main clause here is that is the book. Very good. And relative clause is that is yours, right? Okay, what is the relative pronoun we used here is that. When do we use that, or what is referred to as we use it to replace who, which, or whom. That's very nice. Okay, and then we are going to move to do some exercises. And before we go to do the exercises, I want you to remember this. We use the relative pronoun who plus verb. We use it to refer to people. Whom, we sometimes we've got a preposition, sometimes not, but it is often a preposition plus whom plus subject. We use it to refer to people as objects. Which is always followed by a verb. Or things, it can also be followed by a subject, which refers to things or animals. We have where, it is always referring to a place. When, it is always referring to time. Whose, it's always referring to position, but we use it with plus noun. Whose mother, whose sister, etc. That we use it to replace 3 relative pronouns: who, whom, and which. Very good. So the first exercise is here. Fill in the blanks with the appropriate relative pronouns you've got here in the left side of the screen. We've got whose, when, whom, where, which, who. So we need to fill in the blanks with these relative pronouns here. You can stop the video again whatever you want, whenever you want, and do your exercises, and then come back and check the correction. Okay, very nice. Let's do the number 1. We've got here, this is a noun, and then we're talking about a person, so we've got a noun here in the person, so it means we're going to use whose. Najib Mahfoud, whose novels are translated into many languages, won the Nobel Prize. Okay, and then we've got number 2. Rabat is a beautiful city in the capital of Morocco. So what is the relative pronoun that is needed here? We've got here a verb, and then we've got here Rabat, but please pay attention. Rabat here is referred to as a thing, it's not a place. So some students will say Rabat where because it's a place. Sometimes Rabat school, they are referred to as things or objects. Alright, so we're going to use here which is a beautiful city is the capital of Morocco. Number 3, the son was severely ill, died. So what is the relative pronoun that is needed here? We've got here a verb and we've got here a person, so it is who. She lives alone in a small apartment she likes a lot. So here we've got again apartment, it is an object or it is a thing, and we use which. And in number 5 we have that boy jeans are blue is my friend. So we're talking here about, we've got a noun, and here we're talking about that boy, it's a person, so we're going to use whose, its position. I don't like the table blocks the door to the kitchen. So we're talking here about this one, it's table. Table is an object or a thing, so we're going to use which. The mosque is a place. The mosque is a place where Muslims pray 5 times a day. So here we've got the mosque, it's a place where Muslims pray. Very good. The man I was talking to is Ali's father. So we've got here a subject. It's a subject, and then we've got here the person, so we're going to use whom. The man whom I was talking to is Ali's father. Number 9. May the 1st is a they. People in many countries honor workers. So the relative pronoun we need to use here is when, because we're talking here about May the 1st, it's time. Very good. My neighbor son is my close friend. Invited me to go on a picnic with his classmate. So here we've got son, it is a noun, and here we've got here my neighbor, it's a person, so we're going to use here the possession relative pronoun whose. Very good. Okay, if we use that, we can, when we got that, it can replace which, it can replace who, it can replace which here, it can replace actually which here, and it can replace home. Very good. Okay, we go to another exercise, and these exercises are actually taken from previous national exams. Here we've got in sentence number 1, we've got the teacher talked to the student, phone rang in class, and then they give you three relative pronouns. We've got who, whose, and whom, and then you need to choose the correct one. Okay? So which one do you think is correct? Let's do it. So we've got here phone is what we call noun, and here we've got a student is a person. So which one of these things, when we have a noun plus a person, we use whose? Very good. The second one, we've got the writer. Novels were translated into many languages, won the Nobel Prize. Here we've got novels are noun, and then we've got here writer is a person, so the correct one again is whose. Number 3, the doctor you met yesterday was my classmate, and then we've got which, whose, whom. So we've got here you, it is the subject pronoun, and here we've got a person or person, so here we're going to use whom because we've got here subject. Very good. Let's go to number 4. Number 4, we've got when, whom, who, which, where. So we need to use those things. So he wants to know country will organize the next Olympic Games. All right. So here we've got country, and country is a thing that it's a noun. So we're going to use which. The young man is next to me in the picture is my neighbor. Here we've got a verb. Got a verb here, and then we've got a person here, and we're going to use who. In this exercise too, it is taken from national exam. So we've got in number 1 here, we've got Mohammed Hussein, we've got whose, whom, which everyone calls the maestro, died in February 2016. So which one are we going to use here? We've got actually a noun here, a subject, it's not a noun, a subject, and here we've got a person. So when we've got a subject, a person, we're going to use whom. Very nice. Do you know the film won the Oscar last year? So we're talking here about one, it's a verb, and here we've got the film, which is a thing. So when we have a thing and a verb, we're going to use which. Very good. And let's go to number 3. In number 3 here we've got whose, which, whom, who. So we've got here Jack. Is it Alan will be in charge of the new library? So we've got here, well, it's a verb, and here we've got a person who's Alan. So when we have a person plus a verb here, we're going to use who. Henry, yes, he is the only one. Application has been accepted. So if we're talking here about noun here, it's a noun, and then we need to use whose application. Very good. In number 4, we've got to who, where, which, when, and whose. And we're talking actually about this school was built last year is now receiving hundreds of students used to walk a long way to attend classes. So in number one here we've got was, its verb. This school is a thing. So when we have a verb, a thing, we use which. And here in the number two is now receiving hundreds of students. So we've got here a verb, and here we've got people. So when we have a verb plus people or person, we use who. Very good. Now this is actually the last exercise, and I want you to combine these sentences here using the correct relative pronoun. You can use who, whom, when, which, where, etc. And then you finish the sentences. Let's see number one as an example, and then stop the video and do the others, and then come back and watch the video and see the correction. So let's go. Valentine's Day is a celebration. On this day, people give gifts to the ones they love. So when we talk about Valentine's Day, we're talking about time. So the pronoun here that the relative pronoun that we're gonna use is when. So the sentence is like this: Valentine's Day is a celebration when people give gifts to the ones they love. Very good. That's the number two. This is the house. Hassan lives in this house. So we have the house here is referred to as a place. So we're going to say this is the house where Hassan lives. We met a traveler. He had a lot of luggage. So here the one who's repeated again, or one, a traveler, and he, we're going to use who because it's a person. So we met a traveler who had a lot of luggage. I have a sister and I like her very much. So the sentence is, I have a sister whom I like very much. I have a cat. I like it very much. Here I have a cat which I like very much. I met a boy yesterday. He's Layla's brother. So here the boy whom I met yesterday is Layla's brother. And thank you so much for your attention and for watching this video.